All right, we are live.
We're live? All right.
We are live.
Just a little bit of a delay, huh?
Yeah, there's gonna be like a 5 second delay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny.
Cool. All right. Whenever you are ready, my friend.
Well, I don't have that link.
Oh.
Yeah.
So just you can copy that and then just paste it wherever you need to.
Okay.
Yabba dabba doo.
Cool deal, man. All right. I'm going to throw it up on Facebook.
Yeah, you can throw it Facebook, TikTok, whatever you
I
need to.
can? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
throw
yeah.
it there too.
Wherever you want to. Twitter. You should be able to just copy it and just paste it and be like, we are live. Nice and quick, nice and easy.
Okay. Unbelievable.
Fucked around, and now they're finding out.
And then for live streams, we actually don't have to no longer worry too much about sticking to strictly an hour. But keep in mind, the longer it goes, obviously, the more we repost it, less
No, I like
the
that
hour.
time. Yeah, I like that. So
Since I can't have
we're good that
the thing
that
up or
way.
whatever, once we start, I'll just throw a five up once we're at 50 minutes, if that's cool with you. And then you have give or take 10-ish, 20-ish minutes left.
All right. Why am I having trouble with this? Oh, like,
If you want to add to your profile, add to your
here?
story. Yeah, yeah, it'll add to your story. And then, oh, it's not going to
I
show up that
didn't.
way.
Huh? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to post it on here.
So go back to go to the messages real quick, and just take a screenshot of the. Like go back to your messages real quick.
Okay.
Highlight it. Like just press and hold, and then do the copy,
Right. I did that
and
already.
then take a screenshot of it real quick. Click into the photo. Yep, perfect. Yep, just crop it. Crop it. Yep, yep, yep. And then post that picture,
I
and
see.
then
And then
post
type.
the link
Okay.
as a
Yeah.
comment.
Okay. That makes sense. It was like I was like stupid stumped. Like what the
Once
fuck do I do?
I'll figure out a way once I have it
Mm-hmm.
here to where we can just automatically like press a button and it uploads it to all the socials and stuff like that.
Yeah. Look at the song it picked.
Automatically? All right. I don't know. They just chose music for you. That's kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have to use it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Either that or you can do one of those where you just do like a short video and be like, "Hey guys, I am currently live. If you want to join our live stream, it's gonna be out the Outlaw Apostle podcast."
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Cool.
All right. It gives us an hour if you pull it up. If you pull up Fox News,
Got Fox
you
News
know,
right here. Yep.
you can hit the Fox News Live, and it like will give you a free preview for an hour. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I just did where I'm at. Unbelievable. Yeah. That.
They're all doing it.
And Guy, it's political suicide. We talked about the polls earlier. 75 to 80% of Americans believe
All right, so
in deporting
keep that down and
criminals who
let's
appear
roll with it. Okay, we're good to go.
Yeah.
We're going to take that 20%.
All right, guys, you are listening to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. And you might have gotten maybe one or two people.
Got 2 people.
I got 2 people that saw a little bit at the beginning before we started. This is our first attempt at live streaming the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. And it's something that we're going to continue to do here. You know, I don't know how long. We're going to see what works. You know, we are trying to expand, do different things, adapt to the media, to the market, to find my place somewhere in here. And I believe I have a place in here somewhere. I've always felt like I kind of have a viewpoint that doesn't work for everyone, but it works for the right people that I care about. And so, like, can you split screen that on there live?
Yes,
then
I
too?
can.
Okay. So what you're looking at is the same thing that folks that I'm looking at is, and this is Fox, and I don't give 2 fucks what somebody thinks about Fox. We're just using the video. We're not really using any commentary there. That just showing what's going on in LA right now. And I got to tell you that after what I heard, you know, the last couple of days and the response of the LA mayor, yeah, if they're going to go to Levin, we don't need that. Is it just a commercial?
It might be, yeah. It says coming up.
Okay. That, look, to have the mayor basically endorse and incite people to violence. This is the same chick that left the country and was partying while her city was burning. While Malibu burned, the mayor of LA was in some fucking foreign country that you're like, why is the LA mayor there? That kind of thing, right? Yeah, we can get rid of him. We don't need him. Go to CNN, see what CNN is showing. I haven't even seen that. I do like to see what the liberals are saying about it sometimes, you know. And then Governor Newsom, you know, the attacks are going after Trump for doing what he absolutely should do. We have previous experience with this. The president has previous experience with this. The vice presidential candidate.
All of our city.
Well, let's hear what she has to say. Go ahead.
Force, and then expect for people to get the jobs done. So if you think about a father that went into a factory and now his family doesn't know where he is, the detainees have not been allowed to speak to legal counsel. That is a marked departure from what has happened in the past. When you think of a mother that might be working in a household, taking care of children on another side of town, that impacts that family as well as her family. And so this is something that I think should not be happening in our city, and I join with the governor in appealing to the administration to rescind the order to federalize the National Guard and allow the National Guard to come back under the control of the governor. So with that, we can open it up for questions. Yes.
We're going to start with Lolita and then we'll go to Chase.
Mayor, these
protests that were demonstrations, I should say, did start out peacefully. We've been here since
Right.
6 in the morning.
Right.
But then they scattered and people were moved
Right.
around. Where is the LAPD in terms of being here to be able to deal with that and maybe stop them before they overrun that freeway?
Sure. Well, I think that basically they were overrun. But what is happening now is that the freeway is cleared.
They
The California highway
Excuse me.
freeways. So
My water's too strong. I put too much lemon.
but LAP is on the perimeter, so LAP is actively involved. You know,
This is unbelievable.
hundreds of protesters on the freeway and thousands of protesters.
These people say the dumbest shit in the world.
Joint collaboration going with the CHP, the LAPD, and then frankly the National Guard. But you also know that the National Guard is deployed to protect federal property. So there is a National Guard.
Yeah, they were-
troops,
they were,
in Westwood at the federal
attacking
building,
federal
here
buildings.
downtown.
Mayor Bass, have you reached out directly to the federal government, or is this you doing so right now with media here? Have you
I tell you, this
No, my
this lady is
disappointment
nuts.
I've been talking to the federal government for days. I was hoping to prevent this situation from happening. I was trying to.
Well, then you shouldn't
encourage
incite
the,
violence.
administration that
You
if they
shouldn't
deploy
you
the
shouldn't
National
call
Guard in Los
ICE
Angeles,
agents the Gestapo. You know, you shouldn't accuse them of all kinds of illegal acts when you have no evidence. You know, remember how they report on Republicans that somebody says something and they say, well, yes, Trump said this or some other Republican said this without any supporting evidence. Okay, well, where's the supporting evidence for these people to accuse ICE agents of doing illegal acts, of taking just people off the streets? You know, yeah, a U.S. Marshal was detained. And remember when quite some time ago, also in the studio with me is Chase. Chase, how are you, brother? We got you there now.
yeah, there we
All
go,
right,
now
there
we
we
got
go. Now we got you.
I'm over here multitasking.
You'll
here.
remember that. Yeah, you'll remember this. That we talked about this being a thing that these. There goes my train of thought. I'm not doing well so far live, am I? Jeez, oh,
Hey,
Pete,
practice,
it's okay.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, I
you know
used
what
to.
I'm saying?
I was live every day. That's we only had live, but the idea going back to this, I'll just pick up somewhere and it'll all happen. But I am for what is happening here. I am against the destruction that happened for days and months when they took over a police station in Portland
Mhm.
and declared that it wasn't America, that it was autonomous. You know, people have already died in this case. I believe it was 2 days ago that somebody chasing an ICE vehicle got in front of the vehicle,
Threw rocks
fell,
at it.
fell,
Oh, he
and then died
You're right. You're right.
because
you're
they
right,
fell
you're
and
right.
hit their head, dude.
I did
Okay,
see
that death is on that bitch right there, the mayor of LA. That death is on her for encouraging people like this to say these things. And these, you just cannot do that. The things that they accuse Trump of, they're actually doing. At no time on January 6th did Trump encourage people to any type of violence.
Just to give you a heads up, we had
Yeah.
a first little comment. I forget to.
Yeah.
Sorry
Okay.
to distract you, but we have John Kai over here saying, "Aloha, brother."
Yeah, that's cool.
But you were saying, so sorry about Trump.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right. It's good stuff. But we don't want that. And they've been calling these agents. They've been attacking these agents this whole past week about the masking. And we all know why they're wearing the mask. They're wearing the mask simply because we know with the technology today, they can identify these agents and then go after them in their homes and go after their families. I'm sorry. You don't have a right to do that. These people are doing their job. And if you think they're not doing their job, they're, the left is pretty good at using the legal system. I'm pretty sure, I think, based on Trump's, his orders, the things that he's been writing almost daily, various things, that there's like 250 cases in the court system, at least 250 against Trump. And he's been winning a bunch of them. Now, he doesn't always win right away, but he's not losing very much when it gets to the Supreme Court. And he's winning more than losing. But that's their tactic now to stop what we voted for and to get implemented. Whoever wins the election, whether they have a mandate or not, they do have a right to govern, and they do have a right to they have a right to get their policies enacted. I didn't like it. I can speak out against it, but that's what happens when you lose an election. I've had to suck it up for 4 years. And at no time in that 4 years did I ever call for the assassination of the president of the United States. You know what I just saw yesterday, Chase, is on X, somebody as their profile. It was a black background with the white numbers 8647.
8647. Does that represent something?
Yeah, 8647. Remember we talked about the seashell things with Comey? It means assassinate somebody.
Oh,
86 means to take somebody out.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
Okay, remember? Yeah. And somebody, he said, oh, he found this on the shoreline. Somebody put 8647 in these seashells. And yeah, 47 meant the 47th president. So if you put that in your profile, you're basically calling for the assassination of the president of the United States. And my comment to that person is, I hope this Secret Service shows up at your fucking house. Because you can have whatever you think is a anonymous account on X, but unless you're like a top 0.0001% computer geek, yeah, they're gonna find you. They have their own 0.0001 computer geeks too, right? They can find a lot of shit. So yeah, it's just crazy. At no time did I ever call for anything like that. Oh yeah, hit the Kamala Harris thing. Yeah, again, can we get that? Yeah. Yeah, like we needed to hear from her. And instead of calling for peace, instead of saying that these people should just go the fuck home, she attacks Trump. It's Trump's fault that it's escalating because he called in the National Guard. Well, before the National Guard got there, it was out of hand. And in the past, the leadership of cities and states did not do what their job requires them to do, and protect everyone else. We still hear them using these words, mostly peaceful protests. These are not peaceful protests. These are protests designed to attack and interrupt and interfere with the legal work of these ICE agents. It's absolutely crazy to me that just the comments and people being against it, I guess. But I would expect nothing less from liberals. What about on my X account? Can you pull my X account up? We'll go there.
Okay.
Get rid of that. We'll see. This is, does it? have my posts? I should probably pull this up on my phone, shouldn't I? There you go.
Sorry, I gotta
Yeah,
make sure
that's
people
okay.
can see what we can see.
Right? No, that's good.
Perfect. Okay. You let me know.
Oh yeah, look at that one. Who the fuck takes a small child to a protest like that, dude? Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's not a place you want to take your kids to.
I mean, even if you think it's going to be, a peaceful protest,
Uh-huh.
you know there's the possibility, based on the last couple of days, that something can go sideways.
Yeah.
And that tear gas had been used previously today, or they could be, those. It could be the cloud stuff or whatever that they use, the flashbang as well. Like, there's just no reason you would take a kid there. No good reason. I mean, she's got a mask on and then she's got something over the kid's face too. I mean, that's just insane that you would take a kid there. And then what? I don't know what they're expecting in that case. That's just nuts. Oh yeah, there's my post about Musk. Yeah, so a
Did we
week
talk
ago.
about that? Oh, we did
I
talk
don't
about it. We
did-
did talk
yeah,
about
a
it.
little
We did
bit,
talk about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because a week ago Musk was Hitler, and now they want Hitler. Some people want Hitler in the party, right? They want him back, and he's not going back. He's maybe more of a libertarian, or I don't know. I don't have a problem with Musk really right now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I don't.
There's actually
I
been
just don't.
like a lot of support behind Elon after that whole incident. I know a lot of people are saying whether or not it's like them trolling each other just to get the attention. Like they're still friends behind the scene, but they're kind of creating all this chaos just to kind of like give off the perception of, oh, we don't like each other.
But for what would the purpose be for that? What would be the motive?
To get, because everyone hated Elon, everyone hated Trump because they were together. But now that they're separate, Elon can build up a community of people that hate Trump. So then Elon is getting more popular for as a byproduct of it. And then eventually, in a few months from now, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we made up. We are great." And now with all these,
And then they'll just come with him.
not all of them, but a good portion of them, right? Because that's what everyone's saying right now. It's like, "Oh, Elon's right. Trump is wrong." That's why Elon's like saying all these things about.
I don't know. Elon has, yeah.
Whether it's
I don't
true
know
or
that
not,
that's
it's
kind
another
of
thing,
detail.
but I've seen a lot of people
That's
saying
a
that.
real conspiracy theory right
Hey,
there.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
You
You
gotta
share
play
it.
the layer game, you know.
He has deleted a bunch of the more outlandish posts he made on X.
Exactly. So,
But I don't know how much it was planned. I kind of like just take it in stride. And
oh yeah.
like I said, I believe in much of the big beautiful bill, and I would like more cuts. But I also understand that we always don't get what we want, and that maybe in the last episode when we talked about it, I wasn't thinking things through all the way through because I was doing it on the fly. That you can't say that this is, I don't want to frame it as this is better than nothing, but they are using this method to get it passed where they only need 50 votes because the vice president can always vote, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. So they only need 50 votes to get it passed, or the 51, but the 51 could be the vice president.
Okay.
And otherwise, if they did it differently, to get the things that I would want, they would have to do it through a different method and not this reconciliation.
Gotcha.
And they would be required to get 60 votes. Well, they're not getting 60 votes. That would never happen with the Democrats, and they would have to compromise even more. And then we wouldn't get the tax cuts. We wouldn't get the tax cuts remaining. That's what people don't realize is there's not like these bunch of new tax cuts for wealthy people. These are just the tax cuts that were enacted previously that were going to expire. and additional tax cuts, most anyways, apply to just regular working people, the overtime, the no tax on tips. Now, there is a part in there that they've been arguing about that has to do with how you deduct your property taxes.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, some people may benefit from that make, a decent amount of money. But I think that's bipartisan. There are people that want that on both sides. So that's not really like controversial,
Okay.
so to speak. So yeah. So I mean, I'm would like more cuts, and we may have to take what we can get and then work towards that. There's going to be other bills that they're going to have to go after these other things and the cuts that we're all looking for. Because I do think people want the cuts and get things in line, but you have to have the votes to do it too. If you don't have the votes to do it, and that's the politics part of it, right? That I was talking about, that I agree with Elon, but Trump is also looking at it from a practical point of what can I get past, and how much of my agenda that I campaigned on can I get past. And a great amount of what he campaigned on is in that bill. It's a good thing. It is extra people at the border. It is more money to help with immigration. It is more money for the military. Those are all good things. And it's a lie about getting rid of a bunch of people. They want to get rid of people that are committing fraud, people that are illegal, that shouldn't be getting government benefits, that don't qualify for certain benefits. That's not a bad thing. If we want these systems to be in place for Americans that they were put in place for, if we want these benefits that are designed for Americans to be able to continue, you got to get rid of the people that aren't supposed to be there, or the waste, fraud, and abuse that's not supposed to be there. That's at least people should be able to agree on that, even though they can't. There are other issues we talk about when we get into that as well. But it's just been heightened, and none of this surprises me. The only thing that surprises me, Chase, is how long it's taken.
Okay.
Because I talked about it at election time. All this we're seeing now, I expected after the election and before the inauguration. And then I expected it at the inauguration. I'm just surprised it's taken this long. That's it. So I didn't have the timing right.
But yeah, the concept was down.
The concept of what was good. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And conservatives opposed the Biden administration and much of their policies, but conservatives never did stuff like this. We just don't do it. It's like people suggesting with the whole thing with Elon, are, conservatives now going to burn Teslas? No, they're not, because we don't do that shit. We just don't. I don't know. It's absolutely crazy. Can we go back to Fox and see if it's still Levin, or if they're actually showing it again? But yeah, Kamala Harris is not helping at all. She should have just kept her mouth shut if she couldn't say something, constructive. Having a former vice president speak out like this and not, call for the protection of federal agents and speak out about that's just insane to me. I don't get that at all. Makes no sense to me. I could probably find out myself. Yeah, alert. It's not coming?
It's just loading. I think
Oh,
the computer
okay.
is trying to do too many things at once.
I'm sorry. I know we're gonna need a bigger computer,
Yeah,
aren't
just
we?
a little bit better of a computer, but nothing too much.
It'll happen. All right.
It's loading. It's loading.
I'm actually surprised to see in the crowd. Well, there we go. There's your Mexican flags. And the whole border issue is not it's not about like Mexico and Mexicans.
But kind of in a
But
way.
no,
though.
what I
It's a-
mean
it's
is-
a deportation thing. It's
No,
mainly like
absolutely,
Hispanic.
absolutely. But no, but there are a whole lot of explain to me how many, like it's like thousands and thousands of Chinese nationalists have crossed the border.
Yeah.
Okay. That's seems odd. And people and how many people, I think what? It was over 1,000, 1,500, whatever the number was. There was a certain number of people that, now they're burning a car in the middle of an intersection.
Yeah, typical riot stuff.
Yeah, but but you know what? Right, but that shit needs to end. Oh, a guy posing with a Mexican flag in front of the car so they can take a picture of him. That's brilliant.
I mean, that's gonna be
What an
that's
idiot.
That's gonna be an amazing profile picture. I'll
You
tell
know what? I hope these idiots post this shit,
Mhm.
on their social media.
Oh, they will. Yeah, Fox is giving up on my computer, so
Yeah, that's okay.
I'll work on trying to get that back up.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. But yeah, they're assaulting ICE agents right now. They're arresting them.
Oh yeah,
They're trying to stop the vehicles.
They've been
They're
doing that
pushing.
all weekend long.
Yeah.
I think I saw a video of some guy just standing there throwing rocks at
Yeah.
one of the patrol cars.
Well, somebody must have gotten hurt pretty badly. I don't know that story. Somebody must have gotten hurt pretty badly because there's a $50,000 bounty out on somebody.
You said 15,000?
50,000.
50,000. Yikes.
Angela Salas, immigration rights activist. She's on. She demands the release of detained migrants. Well, she can go fuck herself. That shit's not happening.
It looks like it's having me sign into an account. You have YouTube TV on the other one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to go to YouTube TV, right? Or if you go to my YouTube, go to the bottom where it's YouTube TV and log in through Google.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. And
No, but what I was saying is the 1,500, right?
there she is.
There we go. But yeah, but I don't understand why. Is that just on for a minute?
That's
Because
the
like it's
commercial,
like
yeah.
what I got is totally different.
I think it's just like one of those things that throw a commercial in
They
every
make me-
every few.
Yeah, but I pay better money for mine. I don't have to do that shit. I don't know.
I'm logged in through YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I logged into the wrong account. Be honest with you, it is possible.
No, see, it's going to go back to that Life, Liberty, and Levin, and I'm at a totally different part of Fox. Can you just go to YouTube TV, like the whole thing, and see the different choices?
Once my
And
computer,
you know
picks
what I
up
mean?
on me.
Where it'll where we can choose anything. No, that's just YouTube.
Yeah, I got to switch the account so we're on. Hey, look, we're live.
Live and trying to figure it out.
Hell yeah, YouTube TV. Here we are.
Yeah, so it should give choices at the top, like basketball. There we go. Now I want to find a different Fox than that one.
You got CNN.
That's not.
over
Go to
here.
CNN. Go to the CNN one. At least that's showing what I'm looking for.
Gotta make sure people can see it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think a better computer is probably on the list.
Yeah, my dad. So my dad was in the guard. He was in the army.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
was in the National Guard. You know.
I do remember you telling me that.
Yeah, and that was back in the early '70s. Because I remember as a kid him leaving, you know, for a few weeks, time and weekends and doing stuff like that. But one time I do know a story of him telling like he went to a prison riot. Like, and he said he was scared shitless, dude.
I can imagine a
Because
prison riot is
and he was
completely different.
right, and he was at like on top of the building or something, and they had rubber bullets. That was like, yeah, like really, this is what you give us?
Like, good luck with that.
Yeah, yeah, that was in Ohio. That was, you know, I don't remember. I don't know what prison, but I have no idea. It's showing all kinds of crazy stuff. We are showing you on the fly what it's like to learn how to do this shit, people.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I wish. See, this is what I got.
Yeah, for some reason it is just
That
not
like
wanna
I
work
don't
on
know
our end
why.
for some reason.
Yeah, that was like just going to the Fox app. Yeah, these protesters filming all these people, or filming these. Yeah, that is the military. That is the National Guard, and they're just out protecting the building. I don't know.
Bro, the only thing that's live on my end is the conference championship on Fox.
All right,
I'll dig in a little more.
we were trying. Let's just skip that. Let's. I don't know what else to say about it other than this is what I voted for. Well, how about this? Before we move on to the next topic, why don't we play the video that I posted?
TikTok?
I posted it on TikTok. And I think I posted it on Facebook too, but TikTok is good. Because it started getting views very, very quickly.
Oh, great. We're not logged in. It's like it just
And
reset
then
my
we can
computer
move
completely.
on to the other hot topic of the weekend. And for me, it was kind of interesting. Now they're protecting some vans coming through, forming a line. So this is crazy shit, dude. This is almost like how we watch TV during the O.J. Simpson chase.
That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. That is hilarious.
Yeah, we did that shit, dude. We watched. That was better than real TV. Are you kidding me?
I can honestly though, that
Live and commentary on OJ.
not quite sure why it logged me out of everything, but
Oh, just go to Facebook then.
nah, I got it here now.
Okay.
It just takes a second.
But
We'll get
So
more
years
efficient. We'll get
ago-
more efficient.
right, so years ago, yeah, it was my newest one. There, look 6,000, dude, and it hasn't even been an hour yet.
Oh, people can't see
Views.
what we're looking at. Transition. Now people can see. What
That's a video doing well, my brother. Seems like the time has come. The find out part. They fucked around, and now they're finding out. The president is doing exactly what we fucking elected him to do. We elected this president on immigration as our number one issue in this country. He's taken the steps necessary because the governor is not protecting the federal agents. The mayor of LA is not protecting federal agents and offering or giving them the help they need. Taking 2 hours to show up? Yeah, that shit don't fly. And these protesters, we've all had enough over the last several years, over the protests, the BLM protest, and all the other bullshit and COVID. We're all over that shit about people burning shit down. Those are not peaceful protests. You want to protest? Great. We have no problem with that. We're Americans. We believe in the Constitution, but we don't believe in the bullshit that you're fucking pulling. We don't believe that you should be calling for this violence. The president never called for that kind of violence before January 6th or on January 6th. And you don't get to keep throwing that in our face because we're going to shove it right back down your motherfucking throat. We are done with that bullshit. Now you got the military to deal with. Suck it up, pussies. Pretty strong, short, and passionate. That's what I like. That worked. And I meant every word of it, too. So, I don't know what else there is to really, what there really else is to say about this right now. I voted for this. 77 million of us voted for this. And these are people doing their jobs. You have a problem with that? Take it to the courts. Protest, but protest peacefully. Do not interfere with law enforcement. But you got to remember, these are the same people that wanted to abolish the police, who want to abolish ICE now. These are the same people. They have never been for law enforcement. They tried to pretend so for the election. They tried to deny that they were the ones that wanted all the cuts in law enforcement and to, use that money elsewhere. They wanted that. They said they did anyways, right? Same people. So this is kind of interesting. So it used to be years ago that the New York Times was the dominant media source, all right? And everybody else followed off of whatever the New York Times did. So if the chances of something being a story or not, if it wasn't in the New York Times, it was probably not going to be a story in any other form of media, any other newspapers, or, television, what we had then. Which was a lot less. It went from having just a few channels to having cable, and then cable news, starting with CNN, and then Fox, and then MSNBC, and the others that were added. And then the internet came along, and it's, changed everything over the last 25 years. And that's, that's a real thing. Well, now, Elon Musk likes to say that X is the media now. And I just experienced that being correct. And the last, day or so, 2 days, the last 2 days, I think this has been going on. Mm-hmm. So, and it was interesting to me because I got involved in commenting on this topic on X before it hit the news stories, before it was a news story that Fox and CNN and others have reported on. The Washington, Post or whoever, have reported on it now. And this is Riley Gaines and Simone Biles. Simone Biles is, a great Olympic champion. I don't want to take anything away from what she did as a gymnast. All right. I think what she did was awesome. I cheered for her during the Olympics. Actually, that was something I've always watched. I don't watch everything during the Olympics. There are some things that are more interesting than others, at least to me. Yeah. But men's and women's gymnastics were always interesting. And to me, the women's gymnastics were more interesting than the men's. I don't know why. But at least it was to me. It was kind of like soccer for me. You know what I mean? In the U.S. We're just talking about the U.S. here, okay? But you know what I mean? I get you. Yeah, it was because they were good. I mean, we've had some decent men here and there, but I don't know. It's different. I don't know. But I'm not saying I didn't enjoy or wouldn't watch the men. I did, but over the years, I remember more of the women gymnasts than I do the men.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's. If we're gonna be realistic, women are a majority of gymnastics and stuff like that. Like I know there is a men's like side of the gymnastics, but
That's kind of what I'm saying. We don't.
no one. Yeah, it's like almost like if we want to go back to that conversation of between the WNBA and the NBA, like people aren't remembering what the WNBA's
No.
like although they're prevalent and stuff like that, people are paying attention way more to the NBA than the WNBA.
Yeah, same thing for here.
Same
Yeah,
thing here.
absolutely. That's a good analogy for that. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I've never seen anything previous where she made any previous remarks that, I might take exception to, but I do hear, and I think a lot of people do. I think this was really dumb on her part. So let's show what. Let's go to the top, right? Is that no? Wait, yeah. Why don't fuck it? Just play the video. Just play the video. We're winging it today, doing the show live for the first time and trying to figure this shit out. Just
I like it.
fucking play it.
Nothing wrong with that. A little bit of live action.
And here we got a commercial we have to listen to.
We don't gotta listen to it, but we'll sit here and wait for it.
Parents in Minnesota are furious as a softball team with a biological male player is headed to the high school state championship
They won
today.
the championship too.
After back-to-back wins this week.
He threw a
Host of
shutout.
the Gaines for Girls podcast on Outkick.com. Riley Gaines joins me now. Riley, good morning to you. So the softball player's coach praised her, saying she's always clutch. I think she's the best center fielder in the state. She's just a great all-around player. But as we mentioned, players and parents impacted by this are outraged by it. So here we go again.
Yeah, that's right. Of course they're outraged. They should be outraged. I cannot believe, Carly, that this is still happening. And it's not just happening in Minnesota. Over the past 7 days, we have seen this happen in 5 blue states where boys have taken girls' state championship spots, state qualifying spots, or their spots on the podium. Minnesota, California, Washington, Oregon, Maine, the list goes on. Cannot believe this is still happening. And reminder, in Minnesota just a few months ago, I was there on the House floor as every single Minnesota House Democrat and senator, Democratic senators in the state of Minnesota voted in opposition of protecting women and girls in sports. This is tragic. It breaks my heart. I am so proud of the girls. There are a handful of girls now who are suing their state's attorney general and the high school sports governing body that has allowed this to happen because of their discriminatory policies that exclude women from the women's category. Cannot believe this is happening.
Yeah, you're right about that, Riley. Despite all that you've been doing and the Trump administration has been doing to try and combat this, right now, because the state championships are taking place as school years wrap up, we really are seeing that it's still pervasive in this country. And then there's a situation in California where there was this runner who sprayed her shoes with a fire extinguisher, and she got disqualified after she won for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I thought that was hilarious that she did it,
allowed
dude.
Isn't that the whole thing that who's Green? Didn't Green do that as well? When he won do you not remember that?
No, I don't.
That celebration? I'll pull it up here for you.
Yeah.
Following November 5th, I was certain that the Democrats would start to recant from their voting record, from their previous position that they had taken on this. It wasn't an issue Kamala Harris really campaigned on when she was running for president, but they have not. They have doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on this. People like Governor Walz, Tampon Tim, mind you, who put tampons in the bathroom of 4th grade boys' elementary school classes. This is what the American people wholeheartedly, regardless of political affiliation, reject. So again,
does this
allow
have the
them to
Simone
continue,
Biles
I
part in
guess.
this video?
It is tragic. It has to come at the expense of, again, young girls, of children, of parental rights. But I think we will see, if this does continue in the way that it is, a major red wave again in 2026.
Yeah, and you know what, Riley, it's funny you say that because I was reading an Outkick article about the situation in Minnesota with a softball player and a father.
And then we go down. So basically what happened, so Riley Gaines has talked about this. She also posted it on X. That's probably what's up at the top too. Okay. No, that's Jay Feely talking about it. And Riley Gaines, will that take us to the original?
So this is the original comment
That's what we want.
by Riley.
Here we go. Now we're on track. You're doing good over there.
I'm trying my best.
No, you are. You're doing good. Like, it's like we're figuring it out. But Riley Gaines posted on X this about what's expected when, a star player. I don't know if this was the team.
Yeah, this
No,
was
this
the
is-
team
that
that they
is
were
the
just
team?
talking about, and
Okay.
this is the
That's the boy
yes,
who's pretending to be a girl.
yes. And then so Riley said, comments off. It's to be expected when your star player is a boy. And then Simone went ahead and quoted her and said, "You're truly sick, all the campaigning because you lost the race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category in all sports. But instead, you bully them. One thing is for sure is that no one in sports is safe with you around." So that sparked
Back and forth.
all back and forth, yes. So that's what pretty much everyone's been, and it looks like
And
here,
what I commented.
this is what Riley went ahead and said. "This is actually so disappointing. It is not my job or the job of any woman to figure out how to include men in our spaces. You can uplift men stealing championships in women's sports with your platform. Men don't belong in women's sports, and I say that with my full chest."
Well, and she, to be a college athlete takes a lot. And to be a college athlete in Division I
Yeah.
is every high school athlete's dream, right? And she did that. I don't believe she was ever an NCAA champion, but to put Riley Gaines down because she wasn't, okay, you won medals. You also didn't win medals against men. And I just don't get this. I think it's bad for, we talked about how much money did some of these people get, and it's not very much. Mo Green talked about it.
Yeah.
And so if you're lucky enough to get a sponsor, you have to be a champion like she is to even get a sponsor to make anything at all. And what sponsor is going to like this when over 80% of the country, 67% of Democrats don't want men and women's sports? And did you know, I just saw this earlier today, that it actually was they're like changing the rules in the Olympics, in the Olympic Committee and stuff, but you didn't even have to say you just had to say you were a girl or a female.
Yeah.
You didn't have to even be going through the stuff to change. Like gender reassignment. You didn't even have to be going through that. As long as you said it, it's okay. Come on and join that side. Dude, that's insane, dude. And that it keeps that this is still a story time after time. Is this Mo doing his thing?
This is what I was referring to, because
All
you
right.
said that. Who did it? Was it BILES that did
No,
it?
no. So some other athlete. I don't know if it was California, wherever it
Some
was.
athlete, yeah.
She won, but got her medal taken away because she was like super fast.
That's interesting because that, like I said, this
Because it was unsportsmanlike. But she wasn't like dogging the other players. She was just celebrating her own win.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And this is exactly what
All
I thought
right.
about. This is exactly the thing that I was thinking about.
You know what? Now that you say that, I think we talked about it when he was here.
Yep. So here, let me skip forward a little bit, because this is his celebration after setting the world record. And they didn't take his medal away. Like, what's wrong with that? That's an amazing celebration. You're so fast. You gotta, like, come on. You're gonna get upset about that,
Dude.
You're gonna get upset about that? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And where do you think the girl got the idea?
That's the first thing I thought about. So
I
yeah.
wonder what he thinks about that.
Hey, guess we're gonna have to have him on again.
But that was such an important interview, and if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. Check out our Mo Green interview on YouTube. Like, you're already on YouTube, because like what I have to say. It's all good. All right, this has been an experience.
Yes, it has been.
It has been an experience. We didn't know what was going to happen, how it was going to do. We're going to, I don't want to give any expectations now, but we're going to be going live during the week.
Yep.
We believe at
In the morning. We're aiming
9?
for 9 in the morning.
9 in the morning?
Here in Mountainside. So hopefully everyone on the East Coast can also watch it.
Yeah.
So
So
we're aiming,
9-hour time in Arizona.
and we're going to be aiming for 3 times a week, right?
We're
Monday,
going to
Wednesday,
aim.
Friday.
Okay, we're putting that out
aiming,
there.
we're
We're
aiming
aiming
it,
for that. Does
we're
that mean
aiming.
we're doing it tomorrow?
Hell yeah, we're doing it tomorrow.
All right, we're doing it tomorrow.
Oh, and then also, I know there's probably only one person in here, but there is going to be another episode going up right now as soon as I get home. It's going to be the one where we're talking about I waited a little bit to post this one because I think it's a really good
All right.
by itself, where we're talking about the WNBA and the
Yeah.
NBA. So
Yeah.
that's going up
All
today.
right, cool.
So whoever's in this,
Good
the
dude.
one person in this chat, watch out for that.
So funny, dude.
But yeah.
I'm so used to this. It's okay.
But this is great. I honestly, I'm like super excited for this.
It's funny.
Hopefully in the future we're gonna have an intro going in here. We're gonna have an outro. We're gonna have some other
All
fun
the
stuff.
things.
We're gonna have a lot of fun
All
stuff
the
going on.
things. All right. This is the Outlaw Apostle